Ink-a-dink, 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 ink-a-dink. Wow! Well, we've got the whole early morning crew for well, here comes how do we say that now? It's a good thing we're not on the air yet. Screw Fox News. Here comes cat news. Well, we've got the early morning crew on. We've got I'm looking around and I don't see anybody that's blonde. I don't see anybody that's blonde. Now, we've got our friend Sharknado. We've got Skeletonado. We've got Pignado. We've got it's going to be the movie we're going to okay. Oh, good morning. Welcome to this set of Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Look out, Fox News. Basil says, actually, it's screw Fox News. Here comes cat news. And how are we going to, by the way, welcome. And by the way, it's not. We're going to do another Basilathon, and we're going to stretch it all the way from Friday night to Sunday morning. Friday night at 10 p.m. We're going to drag it out all the way till Sunday morning to our 11 a.m. show on Sunday morning. Okay, well, good morning again. And good evening, and whichever we happen to be on. We have a couple of important stories to report on, and no, we don't have any. Well, we do have a couple little cute clips to filter and feed in and blend into the show, but. Let's get right to the news. Okay, word out of Russia. Now, this is word that came out a while back, and we're just rehashing it. But we're going to try to put a new face on it, a new twist on it, pretend like it's breaking news, even though at this point it's kind of broken news. We have a story here out of Russia, where a flight that disappeared, a Malaysian flight that disappeared some months ago and was never found, has reemerged. Kind of like Jaws reemerging a number of times, and now more recently last summer with Sharknado. And what's that, Basil? Basil. And for you kids in the audience that haven't learned how to speak cat yet, remember, it's important. And kids at home, parents at home, it's important that you teach your kids the language of your house pet. Because, okay. Yes, this is also a peacock feather. It's the under feathers that hold up the more iridescent ones. Time for a commercial already. Okay, well, let's keep the cha-ching coming in and keep our corporate sponsors happy. Let's paw root beer. That's not A&W root beer, that's P-A&W root beer. And what makes this special from A&W root beer? What sets it apart from all sodas? Well, look what we added. A P. Okay, alright, we have to do the obligatory I didn't drink it actually, and thank goodness, because I think their advertising is in fact quite truthful at this point. Also, wait a second, we have to go off camera for a moment. Okay. Schweppes. Since 1783, our motto is that stinking P A&W root beer is only since 1919. Schweppes with Schweppervescence. Or is that Schweppervescence? Additionally, let's not forget our product line of 8-Ball. And also in 8-Ball's inventory, 12-Ball, now with 50% more ball. And new compressed, dehydrated, add water, 15-Ball, now with 88% more ball. And I'm taking Basil's word for it on this one. But this is, well, you know, here's the wrapper. Wait a second. We have a wrapper, so that should be some evidence of it. Tootsie Roll. Fun size, which means that back in the day when we kids used to go out and on Halloween and you get Tootsie Rolls that were about 5 or 6 times this size, they were no fun. These are the fun ones. And no, I'm certainly not going to taste it. Basil says he endorses Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll. And the proof of that is the tagline, just check my cat pan. Okay. So, the story. We're on to actually doing some news. So, not breaking news. Flight number 17 has been identified as the same flight 370 from Malaysian Airlines. And Russia has come up with the theory, and again, not new, but we're hoping you missed the other shows about it. Basil says, or just have amnesia after watching the other shows about it. That the flight has reemerged, that they're in fact the same flight, that, hold on. Not the, okay. Okay. Well, let's see if we can get some commentary. Okay. Almost as if we planned it. All right. Well, it's on the Inky Dinky phone. So forget I said that, because I want you to think it came on the big Cat in the Hat phone, which is reserved for our important call-ins. Good evening. Welcome to Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Okay. It's Tweety. Check this out. Check your caller ID and see if it is in fact. Tweety says, don't have to cue him. He'll tell you. It is a certain Russian named Kevin Putin. And would this be related to another certain Russian named Putin? Said, no, well, I'll quote, no comrade, no relationship. So is this idea still being floated, this theory that the flights are one and the same? And, okay. He says, yes, absolutely one and the same. We know that somewhere that flight disappeared, was the passengers were killed, blood drained. Says, wait till you get a call in from Vlad, because he thinks it was done over Transylvania somewhere. Corpses reinserted into plane flew from somewhere, an automatic pilot somehow, and crashed in Ukraine. And that is that's what happened, he says. Not us. Wasn't us that did it, he said. Okay. Well, thank you for calling, and we'll add that into our list of semi, hemi, demi, quaver possibilities. Okay? A little more ominous. Somebody of note. Big phone. Good evening. Welcome to Basil BuddhaCat Presents, and apparently we're under the dome tonight, so that we can send our rockets your way, and you can't get us. Tweety again. Okay, the caller identifies himself as, and Tweety gives us the tail feathers up, which tells us that his tail feathers are up. Says our caller in says his name is Vladimir Gallagher, and okay, says just watch. There'll be shows, perhaps even right here on this very network, coming up to look at the possibility that that in fact one plane and the other plane are the same plane. Okay, hold on. I mean, it's either. Okay. Okay. Whoops, hold on 1 second. I'll put you on hold for a second. Forgot. Kristen on camera. Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Okay. So this is going to be part of a documentary you're going to do. Okay, he says he's not sure when because he's still investigating a fleck of dust on President Barack Obama's birth certificate that may indicate that birth certificate may in fact have been unearthed along with the Dead Sea Scrolls, and there's got to be something in the Constitution that says that somebody whose birth certificate was unearthed in the Dead Sea Scrolls isn't eligible to be president. Okay, thanks for calling. Okay. Next on Basil BuddhaCat Presents, brought to you by Effervescence and A&W root beer. That distinctive aroma tells you it's different. Next on Basil BuddhaCat Presents, Kansas. Kansas is not in America anymore. No. No, not true. Kansas is in America. It's in the heartland of America. And they've got a new budget. And their budget has given away funds by reducing corporate taxes to corporations in Kansas, knowing that, or at least believing that, Kansas is going to have a better economy for giving away funds or reducing taxes, to budget to corporations in Kansas. And what's the upshot of that, Basil? Basil said, he'll say that again. He kind of jumped the gun a little. Basil says, actually, Kansas's economy this year is down. Their deficit is up. They don't know where they're going to get their funds from now that they're reduced their corporate taxes, and the economy is down. Well, how about the dreaded state of California, Basil? Okay, Basil had cued me in to ask him that question prior to the show, and Basil says, actually, California is doing quite well. They're paying all their bills. Their businesses are up. He said he wants to know that businesses never really fled California, as people have always pretended that they would. In fact, California's economy is doing great. So take that, Kansas. Okay, let's see if we can get... It's important. Good evening, welcome to Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Basil, it's Kansas Governor Sam Brownback. Okay, he says, first of all, in a previous show, you misidentified him as being named Sam Brown Shirt. Says that's not correct. His name is Sam Brownback. And what identifying marks do you have? Says likes his Tootsie Rolls. Okay. He says, you just wait, because someday those companies said the economy is going to be robust in Kansas, and you just wait. One day the economy is going to go to heck in California. Okay, thanks for calling. Okay. Do we have some rebuttal lined up, Tweety? Good evening, Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Okay. Tweety? Yep. Okay. It's Governor Jerry Brown of California, and his motto is, I ain't got no back, but I got a sound economy. How's things in California, Governor Brown? Says great. He's thinking about heading on to a higher office, but he keeps getting these notes from former Secretary of State, former Senator, former First Wife Hillary Clinton, that don't waste your time. Okay. Well, what, Basil? Basil said, okay. Says he's got a take on that whole notion. He says, Elizabeth Warren, 2016. Well, if we can, she's doing a lot of campaigning in a lot of states, and she's doing campaigning in a lot of traditionally red states. She's been in Kentucky a number of times, where the Senate race is close, and Basil, you've been doing a little studying up on this. Why is the Senate race close in Kentucky? Says first of all, thinks Mitch McConnell may be either living out of state or deceased. Okay. And Tammy Grimes, his opponent, says she's not talking about Obamacare, but she's letting the people of Kansas talk about it, because Kansas was one of those states which set up an exchange for Obamacare, and in setting up an exchange, they have now a lot of very poor Kentuckians getting health care for the very first time. They're very happy about it. They're they're seeing a doctor for the first time, if not not ever, certainly in many years. And so overall in America, what's again, you're studying up on this, Basil. You're doing the investigative reporting on this. What's the how does it look nationwide? And Basil says, says unemployment in America is not up due to the ravages of Obamacare. But here's a little fact for you, kids. The percentage of Americans who are uninsured, do not have health care, that percentage is down already in the first, we have statistics for the first 6 months now, down from 17% nationwide down to 13% nationwide. And that's kind of important for Americans. That anybody lost their doctors so far? Basil says, well, those people that got ended up with health care plans where their doctor wasn't one of the associated physicians with that health care plan, and that's been the case for literally since the 1970s, when HMOs came into being. Is that those folks, they'll spend a little money to see their primary physician a couple times a year, and I'm one of those, Basil, so I can vouch for that. That my doctor's not under my plan, but I spend roughly $100 twice a year, $100 each time, to see my own doctor, and anything else needs to be done, and it's taken care of by doctors that are underneath the auspices of the healthcare plan that I have. So not as big a deal as it was made out to be. Okay, we're going to break for a moment. We're going to do a little bit of fit in a couple of couple of videos, and we'll be back.
Dear Diary, the authorities have removed the pair of black pants from the couch. There is no longer any place for me to sleep. I have vomited 3 times in protest, but there is no sign that anything will change. My only other hope for rest is on the computer keyboard, which is nearby, but sadly no one is currently using it. I will wait. Dear Diary, my food dish is now only half full. It is obvious that I will soon starve to death. I have repeatedly tried to draw attention to my predicament with the authorities, but they are clearly either stupid, deaf, or just cruel. This may be my last entry. Dear Diary, it has come to my attention that the authorities have 2 hands, but seem to have made it the sadistic policy only to pet me with one of them at a time. Half of love is just low, which is how I feel. My spirit is breaking. Dear Diary, I've decided to plead with the authorities to rub my belly. I think it'll do me good in my current condition. I would like to receive 2 rubs exactly. A 3rd one and I will bite the shit out of them as per protocol. Wish me luck. Dear Diary, the water dish continues to vex me. The authorities seem to taunt me with this cruel liquid that has neither smell nor distinguishing visual markings. A sad anniversary. This is the 900th day that my nose has been unintentionally wetted. Dear Diary, yesterday I put in a simple request regarding the door to the garden, but seemingly out of sheer spite, the authorities refused to hold the door open long enough for me to decide whether to go outside or inside, or outside, or inside. Dear Diary, the authorities have punished me for taking a crap on the living room floor. This despite my efforts to distribute the litter evenly throughout the house. I am convinced that they are madmen, devoid of reason. Dear Diary, the squirrel was back again today. It mocks me. I will try and release my mind from this torment and groom myself for 4 hours. Dear Diary, I have been stalking an insect on the wall for the past 3 days now. All of my attempts to capture it have been thwarted. However, today, on further inspection, I found out that the insect was in fact a thumbtack. There is no logic in this place. Dear Diary, it is 3 in the morning. The authorities have closed the door to the bedroom. I can only assume that they have forgotten about me and have left me here to die. As a last resort, I will stand post for the rest of the night and sing the song of my people in hopes that they rescue me. Dear Diary, when the authorities poop, I have tried to poop in the bathtub litter box with them in a show of solidarity. I have yet to experience any gratitude. Dear Diary, my attempts to destroy the terrible plant have all been for naught. Somehow, almost as if by some evil magic, a new one has appeared in its place. I will have to start over now. Like Sisyphus, I am bound to hell.
They say they'd rob your grandma blind on Wall Street, on Wall Street. Fritter her away, her Medicare on Wall Street. And Pharma Oil and their pet fox don't care if she lives in a box, so long as they wear platinum jocks on Wall Street, on Wall Street. Meow.